Superheroes aren't without their flaws. While a hero can be a vision of hope or an inspirational role model for us to look up to, sometimes they're capable of some pretty embarrassing or awkward stuff. Cringeworthy stuff, that is. So today we're counting down the top 10 cringiest superheroes. For this list, we've decided to veer away from some of the more dumb or sillier cringy superheroes out there and focus on some more moments where some mainstream superheroes dabble in the cringe. But don't worry, if you guys want a part 2, we can always get a little bit more obscure that time. We'll be dabbling in both superhero cinematic adaptations and the comics, so get ready to get your cringe on. And at number 10 is Superman. Starting off this list with one of DC's staple heroes, we've got the Man of Steel himself, Superman. Superman has had quite the long and intricate history since his creation back in 1938, so it shouldn't be much of a surprise that he's dabbled in some cringeworthy moments. First off, there's a series that doesn't portray him in the best light, Superman's girlfriend Lois Lane. And then there's all that spanking. While some of the cringier Man of Steel moments are due to the sentiments of the times during the Golden Age and the Silver Age, they're still chock full of good old undeniable cringe. At least we don't have to worry about him being cringy these days. Oh, wait. Damn it. And at number 9 is Buffy. I adore Buffy. It's one of my favorite shows to watch over and over again. And it's definitely up there with greatest sci-fi and horror shows of all time. Which, by the way, would be a rad list if any of y'all want to see that. Anyway, despite all of that, it's not without its flaws. And one of those flaws is Buffy's cringeworthy story arc where she's working at the Devil Meat Palace. Now, we've talked about other heroes who have worked at fast food chains and all of their cringy glory, but Buffy's is particularly fun, since it was actually a painful progression in Buffy trying to normalize her life outside of school, and generally is trying to cope with all of that season 6 trauma. No spoilers here on that though, go watch the show. And at number 8 is Birdbrain. While we said we weren't going to get too obscure, I had to put Birdbrain on this list. So Birdbrain had a pretty tragic upbringing. He was created by a nefarious scientist named Annie Matter, who tortured his creations with some pretty awful experiments. Birdbrain escapes from the island that Annie Matter used as his base and joins the New Mutants. They eventually go back to the island to free the other creations and take down Annie Matter, but not before getting some delicious cringe from Birdbrain when the New Mutants try to assimilate him into regular society. That being said, he's still pretty sweet in a terrifying kind of way. The Wonder Twins. A Hanna-Barbera creation, the Wonder Twins were so jam-packed full of cheese that watching them on Super Friends practically made you lactose intolerant. Okay, well, that's going a tad too far, but they were definitely painfully cheesy. They were later introduced into the DC universe, where they got to do things like hypnotize Aquaman.
Something's happening to my mind.
Luckily for them, their cringe has actually been embraced, with Adult Swim cradling it in its sweet loving arms, giving us gems like Makeout Mountain, which for those of you who don't know, existed near Pregnant Point and Copperfield Canyon, actually.
Where is Makeout Mountain again?
Oh, it's before Pregnant Point. You know, next to Copperfield Canyon.
Oh, yeah. We've got to save those kids from going over that cliff.
And from going over the cliff of being sexually active before they're mature enough to handle it.
Always looking out for the greater good. And at number 6 is Spider-Man from Spider-Man 3. Emo Peter Parker. If you've yet to watch the gem that is the third Spider-Man installment from the original set of films in the franchise, oh, go treat yourselves. So in this film, Peter isn't doing all too well. He's going through a bit of an identity crisis, and there's oh so many hair flips. It's awkward and painful, and he becomes exactly the kind of person you just want to punch. And those dance moves on the street, just kill me, now, please. Up next, we've got Robin. Specifically Robin from the Golden Age. Oh, the boy wonder. You know what's pretty wondrous? All that weird sexual tension that he had with Batman during the Golden Age. They had a few moments in the Silver Age, technically. You can see why Frederick Wortham would claim that the two had homosexual undertones in their stories. But fun fact, this wasn't something that Wortham actually deduced himself. A lot of gay men had actually pointed out the subtext to him prior to him writing Seduction of the Innocent. Poor Robin, he can't even avoid the cringe on other Earths either. On Earth 2, we get a grown-up Robin who stole Batman's look when he retired, and then rode around on Superman's back like a carpet. Yep. And at number 4 is Catwoman. Catwoman is a phenomenal character, but she's had some less than dignified moments at the start of the New 52, which was a whole lot of bat-cat sex. I also can't get over how many rippling muscle lines Batman has in this panel too. It's like kinda disturbing. And who can forget that suggestive cover? Yeah, I see what you're doing there with those diamonds. I get the subtext. Thank you, Catwoman. But while Catwoman has had a lot of hypersexualized moments in her history, none are as cringy as her first big screen solo debut, one of the classic cringe cinematic adaptations of comics, the 2004 Catwoman movie. Well, why is it cringy? Let's explore this one further. I guess they're just like totally fine with some chick swinging around a whip dressed as a cat in like really suggestive leather outfit piece thing in a nightclub because that seems totally safe. It's just too much. And at number 3 is Green Lantern. Green Lantern gets a double whammy of a number on this one. So first off, have you seen the 2011 Green Lantern film? Speaks for itself, really. But Hal has been up to some good old cringe in the comics too. While most people remember the 1992 Death of Superman arc for being memorable because of DC's tomfoolery when killing off and resurrecting the Man of Steel, Hal Jordan was off doing cringeworthy things while everyone was trying to figure out which of the Superman imposters who had popped up were actually the real deal. Anyway, during all of this, Coast City was destroyed. Hal comes back to Earth and has a complete breakdown, and then through the reign of the Superman arc and the Emerald Twilight arc, Hal attempts to rebuild Coast City with his ring, prompting the Guardians to punish him and break his ring since he used it for personal gain. So he loses his and destroys the Green Lantern Corps, becomes Parallax, and gives us the most cringeworthy image to fill our hearts with, all in a day's work. In our number 2 spot is every character in the show Gotham. Let's analyze this one a bit further. We've got all the Riddler's riddles, we've got a kid who might be the Joker doing Joker-esque stuff, we've got Barbara Gordon fulfilling the horrible crazy bisexual trope, and then Jim Gordon just basically being a wet blanket constantly, and then little baby Bruce being the worst child ever. Oh, and then we've got the show's writers who are constantly reminding us that all of these characters are Batman characters, and that we're watching a show about Batman. Yes, Batman. It's about Batman in case you guys forgot already. Got the memo? Great, moving on. And finally in at number 1 is everyone who appeared in the Marvel swimsuit specials. Hey, you know what would be a great idea? Put in all of your favorite Marvel characters into a swimsuit special. Sex sells, right? That won't be cringy at all. Yeah, it was. It totally was. So who was a part of this uncomfortably erotic atrocity back in the 90s? Well, Black Widow, Captain America, North Star, Wasp, Colossus, Namor, and my personal favorite, Ghost Rider. Talk about fiery hot sex. There we have it, friends. Do you want more cringe? Let us know in those comments below. And don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you dug this video. And hey, share it with a friend too while you're at it. I'm Kelly Pally for Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in the next one.